What's up, y'all? This is Jackie O, the OG, original Black Digital Nomad and Globetrotting Mama. If this is your first time to my channel, hey y'all, hey! How's it going, O Squad? Welcome to the family. I slow travel full time with my toddler daughter, Ruth, and my whole channel, blog, all of that is devoted to helping other Black women like yourself travel full time and or move abroad. And this is my blog and podcast called Black Women Doing the Most. And today we are chatting with a sister who has been living for 8 years. Yes, 8 years in Saudi Arabia. And I am fascinated by her story. I'm so excited, so super pumped to be interviewing her. So stay tuned, sit down, grab some tea, and just listen to our discussion and conversation because there are so many possibilities for Black women all over the world. Black people are everywhere. We are thriving. We are doing our things. And if this is something you're considering, sis, it is for you. You were brought to my channel for a reason, so stay tuned, like this video, subscribe to this video, and don't forget to check out also my website, which is listed above. Take care. I love y'all. Let's do this. What's up, y'all, and welcome to another edition of my podcast slash vlog of Black women doing the most. I'm so excited. I'm not going to lie, this is my second time interviewing her. Last time we had like some technical and other issues, but you know what? The universe is magical. God is good. The higher power is always looking out for you, because when I reach out to women on like Facebook and Instagram and I see they're doing the most and that they are cool and amazing, you never know what you're going to get back. But I have been blessed to connect with an amazing woman from New Jersey, okay? Holla, Jersey, true East Coast
Forte,
girl. Doing
Jersey.
the most in Saudi Arabia and just like crushing all these stereotypes that people have about where women can go, particularly where Black women can go and where we can go and thrive and do the most. So, and she's the real deal, like no joke, because I know I get DMs from y'all all the time talking about, well, Jackie, these aren't real Black women. First of all, don't know what that means. Second of all, yes, she the hell is. Okay. So I'm gonna let her introduce herself because I feel like all my guests are so amazing and phenomenal that my intros never truly do them justice. So, Miss Nita, I'm gonna pass the mic to you. I want you to tell my fabulous O Squad all about yourself, where you're from, a little bit of your history. Just represent, girlfriend.
Hi, Jackie. Thank you again for wanting to complete the interview. My name is Danita. Most everybody call me Nita. I'm from Newark, New Jersey, all day, born and raised, 40 something years. That's where I'm from. And a lot of people ask me about my accent, and I'm like, yeah, and I have to, consciously slow down, when I talk, because that's just what we do. I've been here in Saudi Arabia almost 8 years. I teach English at a university. I taught elementary school in New Jersey. I have a BA. I have an MA. No, I don't speak Arabic. Shreya. That's about I only know about 10 words. That's it. And I get by. I get around. I'm good. And I've been here in the Middle East, traveling and working that long. So yeah, I'm doing the most. I'm over here. I'm out here. So
You are
yeah.
most definitely doing the most. And I think a lot of Black people, when they think about the Middle East, the only places they necessarily think about, if Middle East is even on the radar in terms of moving, is like UAE. So like Dubai, and mainly like Dubai. Like that's what people know. And when they think about like Saudi Arabia, it's like, oh, what? Like we can move there? What you doing? What you got going on? So I'd like you just to speak to my audience a little bit about like why Saudi Arabia, how you discover Saudi Arabia, like what's that all about?
Well, for me personally, it was to come and study Islam and Arabic.
Okay.
Now, when I was first interested in Islam was, fresh college freshman, my first bay, he was Muslim from the hood, and I was just all in, just stuck, and he taught me about the religion and some Arabic and everything, and that kind of like always like stuck with me.
Hmm.
And when I always wanted to travel, I mean travel outside of like just going to like the Caribbean or wherever other place for vacation, and always wanted to like live other places. So the Middle East was kind of like my only thought, and Saudi Arabia was it. But that you could transition. The cultures are not so different from being in Dubai to Saudi Arabia. Dubai is what is known as a hot spot because of its tourism. So,
Hmm.
Dubai wasn't the same Dubai it is now 20 years ago, not even 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
So, and Saudi Arabia now is trying to shed the image of just being whatever image it has to more of a family friendly tourist type place. So it's actually called like their 2030 vision, where they're trying to not so rely on their oil industry and want to make it a more family environment, a place to visit, that kind of thing. So you could get here now as opposed to just you were only able to come here unless you were working,
Hmm.
making Hajj or Umrah or going to school. So you could come here now.
Okay. Oh no, that's really good to hear that they're opening up, that they're making it more family friendly. Now let's talk a little bit about like your journey, because you were introduced to like Islam when you were a college like freshman, which I lived for almost 2 years in Indonesia, and like that was kind of my getting thrown into like Islam, like one, what people think they know about Islam and what Islam actually is, or for me, were two completely different things, because it is an absolutely beautiful and breathtaking religion. I mean, like when you see it and true practitioners of it, like it's just so beautiful. But like I like digress like a little bit in the sense that I want to get back to like you and like actually, because you just moved like 8 years ago, which is a long time to live a place, but it wasn't like you were out when you were like 23, how most people envision somebody who's like an expat. Like you had a life before, you have a child, like just tell my
Yeah.
audience about that, because I think mindset is so important. People think like this is only something somebody 23 or 24 can do.
Oh nah. And I think with like with what you're doing by having a forum for interested people to talk about this, uh back 8 years ago, you had the internet, but you didn't really have a whole lot of connections
Mm-hmm.
to ask these questions of people and everything. It was one of those things. It was like now or never. I
Mm-hmm.
turned 40 and was like, I am ready. Like I knew it was coming. It was time to shift gears, and you don't want to keep waiting for the right time, or let me have enough money, let me get this together, let me do that. Not saying that you should just wake up tomorrow and just book a flight one way and don't come back, because that has happened for some people. But with me, it did take some planning. It took probably about a year of just actually really researching, and I probably didn't research it a whole lot. A lot of stuff just got everybody, all of the gods came together and
Mm-hmm.
just threw everything the right way, for the stars aligned and just threw everything the right way for me. And I didn't have a bad transition. Some people do. So basically, turning 40, my son was 18 at the time, had graduated high school. I was like, all right, mommy running away, I'm out. You grown now, I got you together, and you got to make your life work for you. I'm about to finish making my life work for me. And I had my educational background, with teaching
Mm-hmm.
to get me here as employment. I just knew I was coming here. I didn't realize the whole world of international travel and study and working is like a whole nother world.
Mm-hmm.
So my job, as far as me being an educator, got me here. But people come here with different, they're nurses, they're doctors, they're teachers. They have like their own kind of like startup companies.
Mm-hmm.
Military people come here definitely on contracts and everything. That was my thing with like the overseas world. If you weren't military, there was really kind of no other way to get here. But now of course learning and being able to, you know, go that route and have work get me here.
Mhm.
Now I'm here.
So I
So
love hearing that you're like an educator because my mom's an educator. So I have the utmost respect for educators because it ain't easy doing what y'all doing, and they truly never pay y'all enough. But that's that's.
I do need some more coins. I do need some more. You got to hustle over here for these coins.
But like, tell me a little bit about like what is it like teaching in Saudi Arabia? Like, what are your students like? What was the process even like to get a job?
Um, Again, you start, you put the feelers out there and stuff just starts opening up. One of my, well, when I was finishing my MA, one of the classes that I had, I was actually in the class and it was my career development class. My MA is in school counseling. So I'm in my career development class and there's this actual, advertisement for another certification for like teaching overseas. And I'm like, okay, so took the class. Class was like a month long, but because I already had a state teaching license, that pretty much got my foot and my arm in the door.
Mm.
Everything else just came its way. And I mean, they off the hook. They saying like these kids at home don't want to have listen, don't want to do their work. 800 excuses as to why they can't get something done. You got the parents sideways, some of them, but because I'm at the university level, um, and I was teaching like, first and second year students, you would, the maturity you expect it to be there. You expect like the curriculum and things to be on board. And, for the most part, that it was what it is. Like, I didn't have a bad schedule, you know, got my work done and I mean, I'm used to working all day after school, Saturday programs and all that. So, I had a, pretty easy work schedule. Not bad at all, but, I had to, like with any place, you have to learn the climate of something. You have a boss that might be whatever, it's no different than from being at home. You just got to know how to maneuver your way. And because I'm a little older, um, and I know what leadership looks like. I'm not just a 1 year educator. Sometimes you present yourself as being a leader that you don't know that you are because it's expected of you to do certain things coming from what they would call the West. Anybody that's outside of you know this country, you're
Mhm.
Western. You're considered from the West. You're foreign, whatever. So if I say like the West, it's
Mhm.
because I'm from the U.S. and I'm referring to like the U.K.,
Okay.
South Africa, Ireland. Those countries that are their first. English speaking is English is like their main language, their first and main language. So I mean, but they kids. Sometimes you gotta be like, we not doing that. You gotta. I had to pull my Newark out of them sometime. Like, that's not gonna happen. And I had to learn them. What they accept and what's normal to them. Like some things. Like I remember I had one student and these people got money. They ain't broke. These people got money. So
Mhm.
I'm in the house and I'm tutoring the kids, helping them do homework. Little boy drop his pencil and his nanny maid, I tell it from the other side of the room to pick up his pencil. And I'm
No.
like,
No.
if you don't pick up this pencil, and I kid you not, I'm like, he ain't know how to tie a shoe. I'm like, whew,
Oh lordy,
okay.
lordy.
But you learn all the ins and outs, and you just sit there and be like, okay, all right, that's how they do it, okay, and you just leave it at that because you don't want to down a place where you're at, and you don't want to um not be appreciative or not understand that that's just what they do. But then in some way they kind of want you to like, put your foot down a little bit and they know what they know their boundaries with you. So
Okay.
I never really had like the class management issues, a handful of bumps and hiccups, but it was resolved. And that's more like a personality type class thing,
Okay.
so but I had to learn that some things are unspoken, some things are written. You
Yep.
learn your works climate, and that wasn't hard for me.
But do you think that came from like age and maturity, the way you were just able to kind of transition to that? Like, do you think if 20 years ago you had done the same thing, you would be up, you were in that same classroom, you'd be
Oh,
up?
I wasn't as polished 20
Okay.
years ago. High head, so we ain't even gonna bring up some of my friends, and they could tell you some situations. So I was getting called to the principal office all the time because this right here, I had to learn. Had to learn. So
So do you
yeah,
think like most of even like the hiccups, have they just been like cultural things, or do you think some of them were tied to you being Black and or a woman?
all of the above.
Okay.
All of the above. It's still the thing of, and I don't want to get into, racism too
Mhm.
much, but because some people don't see that here.
Okay.
They're it's more like she's an American, she has her credentials, this is what I want. Some would prefer a Black woman to come in and teach their children. And then
Really?
you have the opposite.
Okay.
You definitely have the opposite. And anywhere you go, it's going to be a matter of proving yourself. So it's that also. And some of the hiccups were more of just sometimes how people just interact and deal with you, and how you have to put your foot down. And because in a way it's like, okay, they realize that, and this is going into the gender thing.
Mhm.
I'm not somebody that's just, you're not just going to do anything or whatever to me.
Okay.
So as a woman, I'm going to still exert myself. I understand there's a line, but you're not going to be disrespectful.
Mhm.
And then they also realize, like, okay, she's an American, she's going to speak up for herself, she's going to say something. And not that others don't, because I've seen it, but they're sometimes they're kind of taken aback when you defend yourself, and then
Okay.
they realize, like, okay, well, she got that American arrogance about herself or whatever it is. But I know some other cultures that they get in you.
Mhm.
They not playing. You're not gonna just do certain things. So
Because I feel
uh
like a lot of times you do, like you see news stories, particularly with like domestic workers in Saudi Arabia, and you hear just such horrible stories about like their treatment and
I'm
like,
really trying not to, like,
uh-huh.
because a lot of what you read,
Mhm.
for the most part, that's how those situations are. But you have to understand too that some of these third world countries, or the countries that don't have as much money coming in, or
Mhm.
they can't really sustain themselves. They send their workers, they send their natives to these countries to be domestics, to be drivers, to do, maybe certain jobs that they don't either want to train themselves to do, or they feel like it's not something that they
Mhm.
feel like they should be doing. And so, they'll send the workers, but that money goes home to that country.
Yeah.
So the families, they kind of, I'm not going to say that they look away, or that their governments look away on some things. And there's plenty of that you can read online. There's plenty of those stories that you can read with that explanation. And these people need their money, and not to say that they should, accept any type of
Treatment.
issues that they get,
Mhm.
not being paid, or abuse, or um, just whatever other things that occur. But they kind of sometimes endure it because they know that that's probably the only thing that they can do for
Yeah.
a living, for a salary. Again, plenty of those stories are online, recent
Mhm.
stories, and how the countries are dealing with it. But I haven't seen any like flat out disrespect or abuse in front of me. Now, maybe because they
Yeah,
think I
they
may
know.
say
They know.
something.
They know. And I'm so glad you're presenting like a different narrative, right? Because people's their minds get so inundated with just the news story, the sensationalism of Saudi Arabia, right? That they're like, and there's always like every society is complex and has a lot of different things like going on. You can find abuse of like children, domestic workers, all that stuff in the good old United States. I remember being in fifth grade and a student throwing a chair at a teacher,
Mm-hmm.
and really nothing being done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So like the reality is like stuff happens everywhere. And I feel so blessed that I'm able to have a conversation with you and just ask you questions about Saudi Arabia. Because I know, like I told you before we started, like what I told folks, I'm interviewing a Black woman in Saudi Arabia. People were like, what?
It's a lot of us here now. It's a
And see,
little
that was
nice little ganger
unexpected. Like
ganger.
everybody was like, well, are there Black people in Saudi Arabia?
It's Black Saudis, so
Yeah, thank you.
they
Thank
here.
you. Uh-huh.
It's some dark as me and you, all shades in between. That are full blown. They'll tell you I'm Saudi. They'll tell you.
And see, more Black people need to hear that because we sometimes we limit what we think Blackness is and where Blackness can be. And so I'm so happy you just said there are Black Saudis and they in all different colors and they tell you they Saudi.
Yeah, they even if generations back they
Mm-hmm.
came from any other African country or any other, any other country where there's black and brown people, they would
Mm-hmm.
tell you, and pump their chest, I'm Saudi. I'm like, okay, got you.
So,
I had to go to one of the offices here
uh-huh.
and speak to one of the head people, and I'm telling you, he looked like my uncle. I'm sitting looking at him like, yo, you look like my uncle. He ain't speaking half 3 words of English. So there's another one of his office like kind of translating. And I'm like, yeah, he looks like my uncle. So they giggling. I mean, everybody in there giggling. We all giggling now because it is so funny. And came out of his mouth, I'm Saudi. I'm like, all right, Uncle Saudi, you look like my uncle. They was just tickled, and I'm tickled because I'm like, yo, where my father at? Like he looked like my father brother. Absolutely.
So I want
We
to talk,
related.
I want to talk a little bit about like social life and like Saudi and like what do you do for fun? How did you connect with people? Like give my audience the 411 on all of that.
I had a good network from home.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of like Masonic communities. If you're in that Greek communities, I'm a Zeta.
Okay. Yeah.
So 20 something years in. So
Uh-huh.
the Greek world is here, especially in Dubai. Big Greek world in Dubai.
Really? That's actually
So
good. I
they
didn't
have
even know that.
chapters that they've charted there and everything. Yeah,
Okay. Wow.
big all of the Panhellenic,
Mhm.
all of the Divine Nine is there. So luckily, I had people that were like, okay, well, I had a brother call one other brother. Listen, we got a sister coming there. Da, 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 da. I got here my first few days. They made sure I had food.
Mhm.
We found where the little underground events were and everything. So that network helped me out tremendously. Plus you meet people that this is what they've been doing the last 10, 15, 20 years of their life, international travel, teaching, or contract with whatever kind of job they've had. So luckily that pretty much eased my transition with coming here. And not to say that, I wasn't homesick, because like really the first 3 years I was like, what am I doing here? When I got off the plane after that 13-hour flight that almost killed me, and my whole anxiety on a plane is not good. But that straight flight, and I got here, it's at night, everything black and brown and beige. I'm like, where the trees, and and it was hot. For November, it was still, hot.
Okay.
And that helped me, that I did end up meeting like a good network of people prior to me coming. And for now, anybody, and that was, again, like I said, that was then. But even now, someone coming with Facebook, with a forum like yours, different little groups, you can ease yourself into this transition. It's so many groups out there. You take the time to speak with people, they could share their stories with you, give you this contact person, that contact person. That's like half the battle right there, because you're getting that prep work to
Hmm.
deal with what you're coming into.
Yep. Now let's talk a little bit because there is not a time where I'm telling somebody that I'm interviewing a Black woman abroad that they don't ask about hair and hair care, and your hair is looking all kind of fabulous,
Girl,
right?
this is a mess. This is a
Look, no,
mess.
it's like your locks are gorgeous.
This is a mess. I'm used to, right now I would have had something done to it, but it was getting on my nerve. I had to throw a little more color in it last week, because you caught me when it was, I was in between that grow out stage. So I'm like, let me put a little something together. But she
So,
think
like,
I look crazy.
where do Black women get their hair done in Saudi? Like, what's the deal on all of that stuff? Because we're
Well, I could
Dubai has
say for the Middle East, most people would like, try to bring a lot of their own products, especially if it's particular products that they like to use. The water is harsh,
mm,
so you gotta, a lot of, some people I know, they use all kind of filtered water and the treatment, all that. I put my hair in that sink, wash my hair, do what I do. But I have my own, I have products. You can order a lot of your stuff. But now, especially in the middle, in the UAE, which is where Dubai is, they do cater to like black hair. You have a lot of people from Africa that's what all they do. They do hair. So you can get your weave, you can get your braids, you can get your locks. Like I've only had about 3 people the last 8 years in my hair here.
Okay.
So the lady that's been doing my hair here, she come to my house once a month.
She comes
You
to your
know,
house.
yeah,
Oh
she come to my
wow.
house.
Okay. Okay.
If I want to
You got
have
it
them
like
come
that.
do my nails, yeah. And let me tell you let me tell you that ain't no, cause my pockets out here. That's just necessity.
Okay.
Cause I go to the salon, they can't do my hair. There's no like
Okay.
all of the salon people are the Arabs, and then they may
Mm.
bring in like Filipino salon
Okay.
workers or even African workers, but they don't they don't do my hair.
Okay.
So she just comes to my house and just does it, and I have girlfriends that they get braids, they get locks, they've learned to barber their own hair. Um, but you can they get hair sent here,
Okay.
or their person has hair, but you can get your hair and stuff done here.
Okay.
Because the first 3 months I was woofing, like, what is going on? I got to get somebody to get me together. And like I said, I got here that November. Now, really, and normally I would like get my hair now, like, I'll get it done right before I'm about to come back over from, my summer vacation or
Okay.
something. And that was like the longest 3 months for my hair looking crazy. So, I learned to time it, but no, I get it done like once a month. This is the longest I haven't had it like, retwisted. It's just growing out, but hair is fine. But your hair will experience that change because it's so hot, it's so dry. You got to bring, the products that you like to use. Some things are here, some things aren't. But you don't want your whole suitcase to be loaded down with gel products and whatever else. And, people got to take their vitamins for their hair and stuff like that. But, hair and all that, you can get that done here.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. I mean, some of these girls, weaves and wigs is tight. They right. So
Okay. They
that
look
that is
right.
not that is not an issue. They definitely see that that's a market here. So that's not an issue.
Okay. I love that you say that because that's one of the big things I get. And like, let's talk a little bit about like dress and like what you wear to work, what women typically wear. Just give us like the 411 on all of that. Because again, we talking about the Middle East, so people have their preconceived notions of like,
It's conservative. Like,
okay,
my little coochie shorts, you can't wear them outside. You just can't. Don't do it. Don't try to do it. Don't act like, don't put your privilege like I could do what I want. Don't do that. Don't just wear something like you got some sense. Dress modest. Um, Now they've done away with actually wearing like what they would call a abaya, which is like a black covering. Long as you're out modestly dressed, because Saudi is trying to appeal, to tourism, and they want to kind of shed like that image. But again, you still be respectful, like your little t-shirts and your low cut, like just save that. Always try to keep like a little sweater, something to cover yourself, because even like my first, like I said, I wasn't here 5 days and went to the mall with the job and everything, and I didn't have on my hijab.
mm,
And at the time, they had what is called like they had what was called a mutawa, which was like the social mores police. So they would actually go around making sure
uh-huh,
you who you supposed to be, and why isn't your hair covered, and why are you dressed like that. They've done away with that now, but he approached me like, sister, please cover your head because I'm going into like a public building, and
okay,
then you don't actually want like the stairs and everything. Now again, I've been in Dubai enough where we go into the club. Now they ain't no clubs up in here, but it's clubs in Dubai.
oh
It's
yeah, they party
clubs,
in
it's
Dubai. They
yacht
party in
parties.
Dubai.
I'm missing it right now. It's all those things. I'm telling you, it ain't nothing. It's just like home.
Uh-huh.
But and I'm saying, how we like to, because we all got different shapes and everything. Might have a little low cut shirt on. Try to have some little hot pants on. But believe me, you out there, you get had a little bit too much of a taste, and you start with the mouth. It's not going to end well for you. So you just want to still try to be respectful and modest. Again, because people gonna say, oh well, I seen my girlfriends, they was there and they had on they little short shorts and all that. Yeah, you can wear that there, but you don't want to draw some of that attention to yourself. You don't, and you can walk down the street daytime and you wearing that, somebody's want to say something to you more than likely, or you'll get the unwanted stares, from the locals, and you just don't want to get into that, because then they start mouthing off, you start mouthing off, and the worst thing you probably want to do is get locked up abroad. That your privilege don't work for you. So.
So like I've heard you talk a little bit about like international travel throughout like the Middle East, and I just want to hear a little bit about your experiences because I know, I've been following you on all social media, so I know you've been in Egypt. I see you on, I see you riding camels. So just give my audience, like in the last 8 years, where have you been able to travel from?
Ooh. And the thing is, again, that wasn't something that I was thinking was like another perk of being in the middle of the world, because we're halfway to London, but we're also like halfway to go into the Far East, Japan, Korea, those places. So this is like a good, what they would say, like a good jump off spot to go to different places. So London, Scotland, Maldives, Sri Lanka, Egypt, Turkey, Morocco, Greece, uh, Thailand twice. No, yeah, twice. Uh, all over Dubai. I've been a few places. There's some Bahrain, Qatar, and some places more than once, some places 10 times. So yeah.
And my question to you, because like I get this question a lot, is like when you travel, when you're doing all this traveling, do you do solo travel or do you wait for somebody?
You all nosy. Oh, nosy. I've been I've been to a lot of those places by myself.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to hear. That's all I wanted to hear.
I let me tell you, I went to Morocco and Turkey by myself.
Okay.
I've been to Turkey by myself twice. I went to what else? I've been a lot of places by myself.
Okay.
Like, don't wait for nobody.
Here, yes.
When you
So
want
many
to
women
go, go.
I gotta wait. I gotta wait till Uncle Pooh.
What you waiting on your broke friends?
Yeah.
You gonna start off with 10 of y'all from a year from now, only 2 of y'all gonna go? No. Go.
So and they come up with every excuse in the world. Like I gotta wait for so and so. These places are dangerous. I can't go to.
Listen, and then for one, you can't travel with everybody because everybody is not gonna do what you like to do. Or some people, say you do a week trip. Some people gonna need like one day to just relax. Some people need to go every day. Some people don't want to come outside till the nighttime. So you gotta know that about your travel partner.
Amen.
And you still you don't wait on nobody. Your money work, go. Don't not to say don't be cautious, not to say don't be, taking no drinks from these men, that them slipping you Mickeys and women too, be careful. You still have to mind yourself, but don't be waiting on nobody. You want to go. And again, this is the place where I'm in Riyadh, so the flight to Dubai is an hour.
Wow.
And they're an hour ahead of us, so it's really technically, I guess, 2 hours by the time you land and and you're in their time zone. And shoot, I land, get to my hotel, get in the shower, change. I'm in the club, chilling. I'm with my friends. I'll be waiting.
Well, my question is, and I'm asking the same question kind of different ways, but what gave you this courage to just go out and do it? Because I feel like for a lot of women I interact with, that's the major hurdle for them. It's the courage.
I don't know, man. Between prayers, some divine intervention, like I said, the stars aligning for me, the thinking that I could do it all, and pretty much probably trying to not live with such a big regret. I think that just did it. And again, everything fell in line for me, because I have had some friends that their situations were, just bad with them coming, whether they got to a job and they put them in like, some crappy housing, or, the job refused to pay them, or, they get here and then they get with the wrong people and things happen to them. But that hasn't been my issue. So I guess it just worked all out for me. It really did. And I got a good little crew. And most expats help other expats. They something you don't know, they'll try to guide you, they'll try to show you some things. Nobody wants to be here alone and not have a good support system. And that's what's important. It don't have to be like a relationship, or you're coming here to try to find a husband or a wife. That's another question.
Hmm.
but you need a good crew of people that can help you, and you help each other. So if somebody else is reaching out to you to get information, or they want to make this move abroad, be obligated to at least help them because somebody helped you.
Yep.
You know.
I agree 100% because so many people have helped me. And even now, when I'm always figuring out the next place for Ruth and I to go, I'm always reaching out to people all the time. And the expat community, the Black expat community is just, they're so giving of just information and of like what to do, what not to do.
And you take that information, and not to say you take it with a grain of salt, because and actually this was like in a thread a few weeks ago I was reading in one of the expat community groups, like that person's experience is theirs, but don't take it as law.
Yep.
Like, they probably had a bad experience, but it could be the way they approached the situation. It could be just the way that the situation ended. Not to dismiss what they went through, but that don't necessarily mean that that's going to happen to you,
Hmm.
or it should scare you off, or, maybe it was just the way things were handled for them. But not to say don't pay attention to it, but also don't run from it either.
Hmm. No,
Yeah.
I wanna go back because like talk about like jobs because that's probably the biggest other mind besides mindset and just getting your mind right to move abroad. The second thing people talk about is like jobs, right? And like how do you find a job? Now you were already an educator, so you already had those credentials already before you left the United States, and you had like some experience in the game. Um, but like even for somebody else who may be like a teacher or may do something else because there's other contract work you can do in Saudi Arabia, right? You already mentioned like nurses, you mentioned ex-military, current military, all that stuff. So what advice would you give them in terms of looking for employment and then also like validating that employment once they do get an offer to make sure they don't show up and they got a crappy place, etc., etc.?
Well, prior to leaving, make sure your CV is tight. I would upskill yourself on some things if you have to.
Okay.
Um, Look to do, if you can, maybe like any kind of remote work, because you'll get here and you need some side hustles going on. Everything is changing,
Okay.
and sometimes, like, when you reach out and you say, hey, does anyone know about this school or this job, and they've offered this and that, maybe reach out in some of the groups, because people might send you a sidebar message. They don't necessarily want to put it out, to a big thread, but they may say, hey, this is my experience, or this recruiter was this way in order for me to get the job, or once I got here it was this, it was that, because some of my friends haven't had good experiences with that. And you just want to try to do as much research as you can. And like, even like when people ask me questions, I don't sit there and be like, did you ask me that 300 times already? Like, you be patient, and you help them get through it, because it's a big step.
Yeah.
Doing it alone, whether they're going with kids, whether they bringing a spouse, it's a big step.
Now,
So just
are there people in Saudi Arabia who came with their families?
Um, yeah. Some, they got here. Their package includes, your spouse, and your dependents, and they'll pay for a portion of schooling, or some of the schooling, or if you come as an educator and you want your kid to go to the school that you're in, because like if you're a foreigner, you can't go to their local schools. You have to go
Oh,
to an international school
okay.
and pay.
Okay.
So you might want to try to find like some of the better schools and everything. And yeah, people bring their whole families here. They don't leave. Some people start families here and don't leave.
And I think
All those
it's
things.
so important that people like hear that because again, I feel like so much of my job, especially when I'm working one on one with people, is just shifting like their mindset and getting them to see like like you got to do the work, but it's possible, and don't just limit like, oh, I got kids, I can't go nowhere. I got a husband, I can't go nowhere. Like I got grandkids.
Now, it is something to think about, because, but I think I kind of lean on the experiences of my military friends,
Mhm.
where, they were young men and women starting their military careers, their late teens, early 20s. And if they were deployed, they were away from their families. Like, it is a lot to consider. I
Mhm.
don't want people to think like, it's not going to be something easy. I mean, it's going to be something easy, because it's going to be hard. You're going to be away from your family, might be for some months at a time. And,
Mhm.
you got to get here and get yourself settled. And, You got to worry about your finances, some things you got to, just make sure are in place. And, it's a shift in all relationships that you have.
Yep.
Relationships with your family, relationships with your significant other, relationships with your friends, relationship with your children. It is a change and it is a shift. And you gotta work through that. That's not something that you're gonna be 100% prepared for.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And that's real talk right there. That is definitely real talk because it does shift when, especially when they're still back home. You
Yeah, and you
even
don't you
even the
don't
time
know
difference, even the time difference. Like I know when I'm in places that are like 8 hours, 10 hours ahead of the United States, like I got to tell everybody again and again, like I'm asleep when you call in. That's why I'm not picking up. I'm asleep.
unless I'm like knocked out, knocked out.
Uh-huh.
Most people know they'll try to think like, well, what time is it?
Uh-huh.
Or I might pick up and say, let me call you back later. Or I try to be conscious of what time it is where they are. I mean, I have friends that live in California. That's a whole half day away.
Mm-hmm.
I have friends that are in Malaysia, so that's just only a few more hours away. So I have to, I try to be a little more conscious of those times when I'm reaching out to them. But like everything shifts and changes, and a lot can change in 1 or 2 years. You might come over here and say, yo, I'm just go for like a year or two. A year or two turns into 5. What be what you left at home ain't the same.
Mm-hmm.
You
Amen.
know, it's
Amen
it's
to
it's
that.
a it's a lot.
And what do you feel like moving abroad has taught you?
Whew. Besides maybe resilience,
Mm-hmm.
a different type of independence, uh, a broader mindset. I want to say a worldview.
Mm-hmm.
I can have certain conversations with people that I couldn't probably have before. You know, and when you become a part of an expat community, your conversations are different when you start talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are gonna they ain't never left their block. They ain't never been to the movies outside of their city.
Mm-hmm.
So what y'all got to talk about? You know, what you got to talk about with them? They can't relate to your experiences, and you've left that
Yeah.
circle, you've left that part of your life. So, you know, it has taught me some things.
Okay.
It has taught me like to be a different example to those that look up to me,
Uh-huh.
those that I look up to. You never know who watching you. You never know uh who actually is kind of like in your corner, and they're just kind of looking back like, yeah, my friend, she did that. My
Mm-hmm.
sister, she did that. And then you might have something like, who she thinks she is, why she do that. You gonna get that balance. But I think it's just taught me I'm not gonna say I'm like, oh, I think I'm better than somebody, or I think I'm this, I think I'm that, but it's definitely widened my circle and my interest of things.
Yep.
And I think to my heart, it really taught me that if I wouldn't have done it when I did, I probably would not have. And
That's
so it was probably just meant for me to get the information about living and moving abroad when I did. Because, 20 years old, I was off the hook. I was off the chain.
uh,
I wasn't nice.
yeah.
So I'm nice now.
You are lovely now. You are patient. You are kind. You have worked with
Ooh,
me.
yes.
So
Back then I was off the chain. I was off the chain. I probably wouldn't have been able to handle all of this. And then, 20 years ago, we weren't moving as much as we are, or at least it wasn't so broadcasted.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
now everybody, the market is harder now to get a job here. Everybody want to move abroad. Everybody want to go to Dubai. Everybody want to, they want to be out here for what? Y'all stay where y'all at. We good over here. We all right. Well, we good. And then this one thing I also like to try to tell people, the time now, 2020, is not like how it was 10, 15, 5 years ago, where people thought they would get here and then they just gonna stay abroad for 20 years of their life. That might have been before at some point, because I do know some people that have been here abroad 10, 20 years. But that may not be your story or your situation, because you're really here to do a service for people. If you're here to teach them, better instructional tactics, um, what a good curriculum looks like, how to build in a certain program, you do that job. You're teaching them to teach their people, and then you gotta go. It's not you're not gonna be here forever. So you have to kind of almost have like a backup plan when it's time for you to leave that particular place.
Oh yeah.
That's something that I didn't necessarily foresee until I got here and started having conversations with people who had been here for a while already.
No, that's really good, like insight. Like, folks, get your backup plan, like know what you're gonna do. And so one of the things that I have been talking to like a lot of podcasts and blog guests on in the last ones that I've been doing the last week is around the whole like BLM, so Black Lives Matter. And what is it like seeing that from abroad? So what are your experiences been? What are people asking you? Like,
I actually, it's a lot. It's a lot. People are looking at it in horror. Some of them are looking at it like that's what y'all doing. Some of them have experienced that back in their own countries.
mm-hmm,
So it's starting the conversation a little bit more now.
mm-hmm,
And some people are trying to avoid it because they just don't want to make that their issue here,
mm-hmm,
and there's a hierarchy anywhere you go. So some people are trying to just pretty much like avoid it
okay,
to avoid the discussions of it. It's only like maybe amongst us blacks here.
okay,
You know, I'm not talking about the situation of too many other white people, because the white people here that are my friends and coworkers and colleagues, most of them, they're not racist. They just see me, teacher, coworker, colleague, whatever.
mm-hmm,
You do have some that they know what their privilege is, or what it has gotten for them, and that's them.
mm-hmm,
So conversations are being had, not even just with that, but just other political. It's always like that because this country is this country is that. But you also have to realize you're in somebody else's country, and
yep,
you have to go with their laws of the land. Some countries don't let you speak out against their country, and don't want you. You can't speak out against their country while you're here. So you have to just be mindful of the conversations that you have, whether it's in print, whether it's in a message, whether
mm-hmm,
it's on a blog. That's why I'm still careful with how I word things,
yeah,
because well, we got you on tape saying this, and they ain't gonna bother you for much,
mm-hmm,
but certain things is swift and direct, that the course of action that they're gonna take to get rid of you.
okay.
So you know,
And I think that's probably some of the, I mean, you've given amazing advice to people on there, but that's like real talk. I particularly think when people are coming from America, they just think, First Amendment, their right to free speech, but you ain't in America no more. And that sometimes is very hard for people to get through their head. Like the way things go down in America, how sometimes you can act a fool. That don't go down in other countries like that.
try it.
Okay.
You be sitting in a jail,
Yeah,
and
crying for
they
your
deal
embassy.
and they deal with you, and the embassy is gonna be like, well, why was you acting a donkey?
Yep.
Why was you acting like that? Now you may get a little bit of a preferential treatment, but you're gonna sit in that jail.
Yeah.
It's gonna take either some good relationships with some people that can get you up out of there, but it's a whole bunch of people sitting here. They let their privilege or what they do in their country get them in trouble. And with some people, the infractions are much worse because of the country that they're from.
Mm-hmm.
That selective that, oh, you're from this country, so we're gonna treat you this way. You're from this country, so we're gonna treat you this way. It's very prevalent. It's here.
Every
It's
country ain't
throughout.
equal.
So
Uh-huh.
you know you might get a little bit of a pass because you're from wherever, but that's not a guarantee. But definitely, Black Lives Matter, what's going on in the news. You have people that know more about what's going on at home than you do,
Yeah.
and they have discussions about it. I mean, they're taking it apart. They're comparing it to this. They're comparing it to their own country's history, and their thing is like, just be careful going back home, or
Mm-hmm.
you're safe here, you're okay here. I've had many people welcome me into their homes, and I'm sister this, and they value me and respect me for me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like, and they understand, like, what's going on. Don't think that these other countries are not watching, because they are.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I'm asking all my guests this now. Like, do you feel guilty not being in the US? And
First of all, they too rampant with corona. That's number one. I ain't trying to get sick. People breathing and my state, they ain't doing enough. They trying. My governor is trying, but he got hard-headed people there that I've known people that have personally, passed away from it, that have recovered from it. It's serious.
yeah,
And most countries have it, but how they dealing with it is how they dealing with it. And you know, they
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 playing
doing the
games in the US. They playing games right now in the US. People think it's a little game that they can, I guess,
it's
First
serious.
Amendment their
It's
way
it's
through.
serious. They're not they're traveling and they're not taking their precautions. It's my right. Is this and that? It is your right. It's your absolute right to do whatever. But listen to what's correct.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a political thing. This is a human thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like your party, my party. Is it going to matter that this government person said this? This government person said that. Follow what the health officials are
Yeah,
saying
what
to keep
scientists are
yourself
saying.
together,
Mm-hmm.
because they off the hook.
Yeah, they.
So no, I don't feel guilty about not being home, because I'm in my little hole right here. Ain't nobody bothering me. And when I gotta go out, trust me, we were on curfews, we were on lockdowns. It was to where we couldn't go within 15 minutes of our immediate area. We had to like
Oh,
go through like an app to try to get to other places. Yeah, we were on at one time for like 5 days, like a 24-hour lockdown. Like you don't gotta go outside. Everything we going to deliver it to you. You ain't gotta go out.
oh
They
wait, they
wasn't
would
playing.
deliver. They would. So you got your food and stuff delivered?
See, I didn't need to go out and get enough. I didn't need to get anything delivered because I like to go out to the supermarket. But I know some people that they didn't leave their house. They got everything delivered. It's food apps, grocery store apps, all that stuff. I gotta see and touch my food, so I went out, or I would get enough to where
Mm-hmm.
we knew when the curfew was going to happen for how many days, so I would make sure I had enough. But we were on curfews, and let me tell you, they finding you that first day. They wasn't playing. 10,000 SAR, which is like $2,600. They wasn't playing.
Oh,
Be
they was not
outside at
playing. They were not
7:01.
playing.
Be outside 7:01, and that curfew was at 7. Be outside. Watch what happens. They weren't playing.
I'm not mad at them though. I'm not. This stuff is serious. Like COVID-19 is serious, and people playing games. So like, I'm not even
I
being mad
mean,
at
and
that.
I'm used to like going somewhere on a plane at least twice a month for the weekend.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm gonna go to Dubai for the weekend. I'm gonna go to Bahrain for the weekend. I'm gonna, Abu Dhabi, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go to Egypt for 3 day weekend. I'm used to that. But they shut down the planes. They everything. They wasn't playing. They ain't playing. They ain't playing with these people.
And they shouldn't be, right? Because it's like then you got Florida, you got Texas, which are hot messes right now. But I'm so glad you like expressed like the real deal on how you feel, because so many people, and again this goes back to the whole mindset thing. So many people are like, I just can't leave Black people in America now. Like I gotta keep fighting with them. Like there's some idea.
And if that's what you want to do, if you are making a voice in your community and you're submitting and you're creating change, by all means, by
Exactly.
all means. But at some point, you're going to look at and you're going to feel in yourself like, okay, there's some things that I know I want to do, and I should go ahead on and do them, and let me just try to do them. Because if I don't, when I'm 60, 70, 80 years old, and I'm looking back on my life, and I'm looking at that little window where I could have made a different choice, and it's our choice. Not to say people are not living their best life in wherever they are in the US. But if you have that opportunity, even if it's like, volunteering someplace for like a month. I volunteered, taught in Spain for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Honey, honey, yeah. Them tappers and all that other stuff, yeah.
Yep.
And just if that's going to take you into your baby steps to do it, do it. But my main thing is like I kind of just don't want to live with those regrets, and if you already are thinking that you want to live abroad, you already in a different mindset. You not just some regular hood person or a person that's uneducated. I'm not gonna say a hood person. I'm scratch that out, take that back, because I don't want the hood trying to get on me and it's gonna be some problems. So not that. Uneducated and not taught about anything outside of your immediate environment. So if you don't know that it's out there, how do you not know that you won't like it?
Yep.
And again, not that it's all peaches and cream, because the homesickness is real. You may come into a bad situation, but if you just don't make that small first step, some people visit a country for like a month. You could rent a place for a month if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
You can go, and this way you're not just there for vacation. You at a resort for a week, you're there to relax. When you're at a place more than a month, 2-3 months, now you're starting to see what the locals see. You're seeing what it's like. So you could just start off small like that. Save up your vacation days, or I was fortunate my first year I was able to take a leave of absence from work. And so when I got back, when the leave was up, I had to make that decision. Am I going to formally resign, or am I going to go back, to being abroad?
Mm-hmm.
So luckily, I had that job that was able to do that. And again, if you got a bay at home, you might find a bay over here. Who knows?
You never know, but you won't know unless
people
you
date,
you won't know unless you do it.
People date, people see each other. They got whole relationships here, everything.
No, I was so happy you said it, because people are always like, well, I'm not gonna meet nobody when I go abroad. It's like, well, if you say you're not gonna meet nobody, and you probably won't meet nobody, but who you meet in the United States? So,
honey, they throwing themselves there, okay? And people are people.
yeah.
People want to meet people. People want to see people, and it's just ways around that you just have to do it. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a very family oriented country, so outwardly you're not going to be running around with this guy, running around with that girl, because they are very serious about family. They're very family oriented here, and that they ain't playing with it. But again, you can meet a lot of people here. You can entertain yourself here, and that's what you can do. That's what you can do.
I appreciate that, because on my top 10 list of questions is always, particularly because a lot of my clients are single women, it's always about like dating and meeting people, and are they going to be able to have any sort of like relation, and especially when you talk about like the Middle East, because people are like,
I mean, they're not going to sit here. They're not going to sit here and advertise that they got these thousands of eligible bachelor men, because they do.
uh-huh,
But it's just scrutiny, and it's
uh-huh,
just how you go about things.
uh-huh,
And again, like I said, this is a very family
uh-huh,
oriented region. So they just not sitting out here with like, we got these many available women
uh-huh,
and these many available men, but the socialness is here. The socialness is here.
oh,
I've
I
been
know.
I've been to weddings here. I done seen folks have babies here. When they get here, they meeting
Yeah.
these people, and that's what they doing. So
Well, I just
it
know, I know when I'm at the airport and I'm in hotels and I see Saudi men walk in and like their formal garb, that's hella sexy. I'm just gonna put
oh,
it out.
they easy on the eyes now. Ain't now they easy on the eyes, and they like looking. They like looking at you too.
Because I'm like, wow, they look. I was like,
And I got eyes, so
yeah. A couple times I've been like, I might to make me a trip to Saudi, because like they definitely got some eye candy there.
they, yeah, yeah. And they like what they like. Yeah.
See, we need to put it all out there. We get all the tea about life in Saudi Arabia,
Listen,
Saudi Arabia.
listen.
Life in
I'm
the Middle
just
East.
being I'm not saying I'm using code, but it ain't gonna get me locked up. Put it like that.
No, look, and I'm appreciating that you don't see me doing no type of digging. I'm just letting look, the audience can like decide for themselves what we talking about when we talking about it. Look, because look, I ain't trying. Look, I'll definitely donate to your GoFundMe page, but I'm trying to avoid you having one. Okay.
I ain't got it to donate, so nah. You better take my word for it, cause don't be hitting me up. Nita said, nah. Mm-mm. No, ma'am.
But
What's
I'm so
up?
like it's funny because every time I talk to you, I feel like the time just like flies by. I'm looking, I'm like, I just started asking her questions. How we already get through an hour?
No, I definitely like what you're doing, and I'm more than happy to answer questions for you. I know that you have to do like your editing and you have your format the way how you do things, but basically what you are representing is for. Just go, just get out and do it. Do your research, put
Mhm.
your time into it. Don't just go like on emotion because I see a lot of posts of I can't live in the US. Da, 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 da. Yo, have a plan. You
Yep.
can't just bounce here without a plan. Well, you shouldn't, because some folks have done it and it has worked for them. But
Other folks, other folks say it's not. Look, and you don't
if
want
you
to get
try
credit.
to do as much as you can with your research, your experience might be better.
Yeah. So I'm thankful for your time. I'm blessed to be able to connect with you on Facebook because Facebook is a tremendous resource. Like, and it wasn't
Yeah,
around when I first started traveling. So I'm
right,
thankful
right.
because I have been able to connect with so many like phenomenal Black women like across the globe. You are one of them. I'm feeling blessed. I'm feeling honored. Like every time, like when I knew I was interviewing you today, I was like, oh yeah, we got this, we got this, we got this.
Yes.
I'm appreciative of your time. I'm gonna let you know when I get ready to air this. This is gonna be season 2, so I'm just super pumped, and I know that you will inspire a lot of Black women who are sitting at home and like, it's not possible for me. I can't do that, but because like your mind's right, like your
Listen,
mind's
I
right.
came I came over here by myself.
Uh-huh.
Luckily, I had already had my son.
Mhm.
He's grown. He's 26 now. I got here when he was turning. He had just turned. He was already 18 that graduated. So just do it. You can't pinpoint. Oh, by the time I'm 30, I'm gonna do this. Like just whatever age. Even if it means just doing something for 6 months just to see. And again, you if you already thinking about living and moving abroad, you already got the mindset to do it.
Yep.
You know.
So I am so thankful for your time. What time is it there now?
10 p.m.
Oh, you just as bright and as happy. Look, I'm like
Cause
10:21. What?
I was eating. I had a late dinner, and let me tell you, these are night people, child. Don't nothing get done till the nighttime. These are night people.
All right, I got one last question before we leave. The food. Tell us about the food.
It's everything. When I'm home, I try to look for the food here. They definitely have their traditional food.
Mhm.
Everything the African, the Indian, the Mediterranean influence. They have all of the chain restaurants. They got all of their local eateries, but the food here is just amazing. The food is amazing. They have to import a lot because they can't really grow a lot here, but the food is definitely good, and you get a lot of portions of it. Is Saudi Arabia is cheap compared to other countries in the Middle East too. So you
Mm.
will get bang for your buck. They are starting to go up on some things though, but
Okay.
food is good. Like right now, I have like the chicken skewers and like grilled chicken meat, and got my little bread, my little salad on the side, my little rice. I'm about to finish eating that, even though it's a little late. I'm gonna eat that and fall out because I'm not on no real schedule right now. Not for the next few weeks, so
Okay. So
I'm
you.
just trying to debate on whether I want to come home or not. So it's a
Okay,
little rough. I
girl.
would have been home by now, but uh, they still got the cooties at home.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know.
Girl. Yeah, girl. Like just enjoy yourself there. Just be safe. That's all I gotta say. Like be safe. But like I am so thankful again. Thank you for this wealth of information. I gotta bring you back for season 3. You gotta promise me that you'll
Ooh,
come back and do
it's a promise done. No problem.
okay.
No problem.
Because I love chatting with you. And I'm still going to reach out to you. My little message. Hi, I'm Jackie. Oh, look.
Yeah, no problem. No, we already on Facebook now. That's cool. No problem. And then I want to, you know, I'm just now learning about your blog, so I really want to see it because I have a lot of friends here that everybody hustle. Everybody here hustle, especially my friends in Dubai. Like either they're party promoting, they have side businesses going on. They have, some of them do have like podcasting. I know one girlfriend, she was writing like I think her master's thesis on a really untapped topic where like the Black woman that does move abroad. You don't have a lot of resources on it outside of like what you might see in social media. No real formal studies on it. So anytime you want to reach out, that's fine. But let me know of your blog so that I can kind of follow it and see, maybe other people's experiences and stuff.
Okay. It's done. Look, look.
And then my friends want to see this too. So they already said, well, Nita, like when we met before, I said I gotta go because I'm gonna be on the blog. They like, I will tell us. So I'm definitely gonna follow you on that. Just let me know.
Okay, you got it. I'm gonna let you know when I'm doing all my promo, getting you out there. I'm so appreciative. So thank you for your patience.
You're welcome. No
Thank
problem.
you
Kiss the
for your
baby,
work.
hug mommy, all that good stuff, and take care of what you gotta do in Cali. And that's one place I haven't been yet. Is Cali. So I want to go to Cali too. Visit.
Well, if I'm in Cali when you in Cali, we definitely gonna hang out. I'm gonna show you some of my favorite spots in Northern Cali. We're gonna go to San Francisco. We're gonna go to Oakland to see the Black people because they ain't really in San Francisco no more. And we just gonna do it up.
Sound good.
All right, you have a blessed evening. Enjoy them chicken
You
skewers.
too.
And I'm going to post below like all your social media information. So if folks want to
Mm-hmm.
follow you, that they can. And I'll
Yeah,
put that in
yeah.
the comments box below. And if folks just want to reach out to you, say they saw you, do all that stuff, I'm going to post it, okay?
Yes, no problem.
All right, you be blessed and have a
You
wonderful
too.
day.
Good night. Thank you.
Hey, Black girl, hey, you good? Because I'm fabulous. I'm a digital nomad, and my lifestyle allows my daughter and I to experience new places, culture, foods, and people. Living abroad and/or traveling full-time is amazing. It is freedom. I can work from anywhere. I want more Black women to experience the same sort of freedom. I help Black women manifest their dreams of a life abroad or a full-time travel. Are you ready for a life beyond your wildest dreams?